Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. It's the weekend, which means only one thing. It's time for that weekly news roundup. As always, we will begin with FPGA gaming news, the MiSTer, the Analogue Pocket, and well, any other FPGA gaming news out there that's worth reporting. After that, we'll move over to some random and retro gaming news. Timestamps have been made available, so use those to navigate your way around the video. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, then hey, a subscription and a like is super duper appreciated, as is turning on those notification bells. If you really want to go a little further and support the channel, you can become a channel member, or guess what, sign up for my Patreon, and it directly supports the channel. Don't forget to check out the sponsor of the weekly news show, Zapparoo, an absolutely awesome NFC thing that just makes NFC so fun. Launch games, apps, movies, whatever the heck you want, Zapparoo can do it. And finally guys, before we pack it up and pack it in and begin, Free Play City, check out London's best arcade. Anyway, let's see Wagwan. Let's begin this week with this. Remember the game Chase HQ? Yes, where you're a cop straight out of what looked to be Miami Vice or something, and you're chasing those bad guys in an undercover car, smashing those guys up. Well, core developer Wicker Wacker, aka Martin Donlon, well, he's just started a GitHub page. Now, there's nothing on that GitHub page apart from one line. We'll have a look at that in a second. But hey, it goes to show that he may well be beginning work on Chase HQ. Now, Chase HQ is a Taito classic. It's something that I played more on a computer and more on consoles than I did in the arcade, but I absolutely love the sequel. So let's go ahead and check out a couple of links. Okay, so here's the GitHub for it. And as you can see, the only thing that's here is feel the wind in your hair. News for you, Wicker Wacker. You can't really feel the wind in your hair in Chase HQ because that had a car with a roof. However, Special Criminal Investigation, you are cops in a convertible and you can feel the wind. But what's really exciting is what other games this hardware could potentially bring. Now, we know Wicker Wacker, who's brought over like IRIM, M72, M92 systems with games like R-Type, Ninja Spirit, R-Type, Leo, Undercover Cops, Ninja, Baseball, Batman, and then the Taito F2 core. He got Taito F1 games working on there, so stuff like the Ninja Kids, Final Blow, Dino Rex, Growl, just to name a few. Liquid Kids, awesome games, awesome systems, right? So hopefully when we get Chase HQ, it's on this hardware. It's on the Taito Z system hardware. And on the Z system hardware, we've got these different games. Aquajack, Battle Shark, Chase HQ, what we're kind of talking about here, Continental Circus, Double Axle, also known as Power Wheels, Enforce, Night Striker, which is a favorite of many, Racing Beat, Space Gun, and guess what? Special Criminal Investigation. This is my big want on this system. Love Special Criminal Investigation. Played it a lot more than Chase HQ. Guess what? You kind of pop up, you have a gun, as well as like barging the enemies, you shoot them. Absolutely fantastic. So really can't wait for the day that we get Chase HQ. Absolutely banging. Looking forward to this Wicker Wacker, and hopefully I'll be able to get some updates. Anton Gale, man, this guy, he's known for resurrecting dead and classic computers, but as well as that, he does FPGA cores. And this recent expose from Anton says, I have completely reworked the Slapfight Tiger Heli FPGA core for the MiSTer to improve pause and high score save stability. As a bonus, I added master clock frequency toggle to overclock the core for 60 Hz video output. Let's make that big and have a look. And this is a really good game. It's very difficult, but it's an amazing shmup. So well done there, Anton. Love your work. And Slapfight always reminds me of two people slapping, but no, it's a vertical shmup. The MiSTerFPGA, the gift that just keeps on giving, guys. We have an excellent Nintendo 64 core, something that I've been enjoying for a couple of years now. It's really, really good. It's really, really fun. But then Robert Pape, the developer, they made like an overclocked version of that core, an experimental version of the core where it improved some games and it may have broke a game or two, where that was overclocked to 80 megahertz. Well, guess what? A member of the MiSTerFPGA Discord server known as Korn has actually made it even faster. Now it goes from 80 megahertz all the way up to 94 megahertz. Now, if you want to grab this version of the core, in my weekly news video, there's always invitations to various Discords that are helpful. One of them is the MiSTerFPGA Discord server. You can find a compiled version of this core there if you do want to check it out. It's in the Nintendo 64 channel, but I will leave a direct link to that core for you guys to find. Do check it out. Maybe there's some games out there that you've tried the 80 megahertz core, but you think 94 might get you a few extra frames, then definitely go and try it out. I've actually got a video on the channel where I'm running the 94 megahertz core against the Unleashed mode on the Analogue 3D. Do check that video out if you want to see what the results of that test are. But yeah, absolutely amazing. I love the MiSTer community, always looking to thrive, always looking to push beyond the limits. And honestly, the Nintendo 64 that was considered impossible by most developers out there, Robert Pate brought it over. Now members of the community, other developers are contributing to it, and it is becoming better and better. Do check it out. And if I didn't say at the beginning of this segment, I meant to, the footage that you're seeing here isn't from the MiSTer, guys. I did say I'm at work at the beginning of the video and I'm staying late to film this video, so I don't have my MiSTer. So this over here is Retro Arch with a mega bezel reflective glass shader. In this section of the video, we'll quickly go over this week with Retro Remake and the SuperStation One. I've got dedicated videos on the channel that go into more detail, but there has been some really positive and some really good stuff. This one over here, connecting Office 1 to Office 2. So Taki got a new facility. It looks like it was right next door to the other one, which is very easy. So smash a wall and get that going. Taki also mentioned on his Discord server where he had like 2 testing benches. He's now got 10 and he's got additional staff. So it looks like production is speeding up when it comes to the SuperStation One. So good stuff there, Taki. Glad you're expanding. Glad to see your business growing and you scaling accordingly. So over here, this was from a few days ago, where Taki shares the PCB. 123 Hello 2026. And here we got SuperStation Founders Edition version 123. As easy as ABC 123. Was that the song? Anyway, here we can see more stuff on the PCB here. And the final picture here shows us signatures from the team, which looks like they've come on the PCB. I guess it saves signing because that would be difficult. Either that or they got very good handwriting. Guys, lots of stuff is being shipped. The blue units and the black units are going out, and lots of you guys have been in touch saying, yo, Pixel, guess what? I got a notification. I got my SuperStation One. It looks like lots and lots of them are going out, and hopefully I'll get one soon so we can do live streams, we can do some testing, and we can put this awesome device through its paces. But yeah, it makes me happy when I see that you guys are getting your devices. Honestly, absolutely amazing. I love more and more people coming over to FPGA gaming, because guess what? That means more and more people come over to the channel and watch the nonsense that I put out. But anyway, this one here, a black PS1 is fire. I kind of agree there, Taki. It looks really good, but I'll go with a transparent blue. That's the one that I like. It looks beautiful. We're now shipping black SuperStation One Founders Friends Edition orders. So if you're a friend or you're an early adopter and you got yourself a Founders Edition, it should be shipping now. So absolutely awesome. It looks really good. Like I was looking at this on a smaller screen earlier when I did the dedicated video, and I'm not sure if it's matte or glossy, but either way, I do like the aesthetic. I like what it looks like. All 3 colors are good. You can't go wrong with either one. Let me know what your favorite one is in the comments. Me, definitely transparent blue. I just love transparent consoles. And this picture over here showing lots of different PCBs, the boards ready to go into the SuperStation One. So good stuff there from Taki. Oh, one other thing which was really good. So there was a hold put on either 4PX or by 4PX. It kind of sounded like one of those things going on in the USA with the USA, I don't know, tariffs, whatever, all this stuff that we see on the news. I can't keep up, but there was a hold put on 4PX which delayed the deliveries or kind of stopped deliveries going out to the USA for a period of time. Well, it looks like that has now been lifted. So, and all you guys in the USA that were waiting for your 4PX deliveries, those should now be moving, which is absolutely amazing news. SuperStation One looks awesome. It's very nicely priced, and it looks like it is freaking delivering. So good stuff there. Eber and the Masters of the Universe. I've always wanted to say that. Now I said it. Okay, what we're looking at here. FPGA for arcades, multi-system to arcade revealed. So previously they kind of showed this off or teased this or showed a segment of this in another video where they were restoring an arcade machine, and it was known as Mr. Multi-System 2 Jammer Edition. I definitely feel Multi-System 2 Arcade is a good name for it as far as branding goes, but really good. They've shown off more stuff about this. Definitely check out the video. I've also got a dedicated video on my channel think of it as a 2LDR, but definitely check out the video. It's really good. What exactly is the MiSTer Multi-System 2 Arcade? Well, it's a purpose-built MiSTer Multi-System 2 that is designed to slot in your arcade machine, and with the ability to use all the accessories, trackballs, steering wheels, flashing lights for arcade machines like Chase HQ. This is that one-stop solution, and it's coming out soon. And if the MiSTer Multi-System 2 is anything to go by, it's not going to be as cheap as the Eastern stuff, but it's not going to be as expensive as an original DE10 Nano. It's going to sit in the middle somewhere. So a lot of you guys are really excited about this. You want a solution for your arcade machines that's easier to use, and this looks like it just might be it. Something interesting here, especially if you like Game Boy Advance. So do you remember a while ago the Game Boy Advance core had support for borders? Well, guess what? We've now got more borders. I want to point out that, remember we had like a Game Boy Advance core that's been around for a while, the one via Update Tool. Now that version of the core doesn't support borders, but the developer Robert Pape, they learned some new stuff and they made a new cycle accurate version of the core. I think it's still a work in progress. I'm not sure if it's available via Update Tool. It's something that I added manually, but if you do have that version of the core, you can use these borders. So these are designed from BearOnGuitar, a long-time supporter of the channel. Really do appreciate you. And he reached out and he was like, look, I've made some borders. So if you want to check these out on your MiSTer, you can use these. And here you go. He's made some decent ones out here. So lots of different colors out there. They just look really nice. So it's nice seeing these borders on there. There's some that are like, there's some previous ones on there as well that I remember the Nitro did, some that Anime Otaku did, that was specific to games, so you'd have different artwork. But if you just want like a nice plain color, then BearOnGuitar has put these up there. I think you can grab these via Update Tool as well by grabbing the Nitro's borders. I'm pretty sure you can actually, because when I run Update Tool, it tells me, it says it's pulling down some of the Nitro's borders. So good stuff there. Love seeing this stuff. So if you want borders for your Game Boy Advance games on your MiSTerFPGA, you might want to check this out. In this section of the video, guys, is where we talk about unstable nightlies and test builds that have been made available for the MiSTerFPGA in the last week. Just want to point out again, this is RetroArch footage that I'm using for eye candy for you guys. So the Apple, it's not Apple, it's Apple LLGS, I think that's what it's called. Also, the PlayStation core has received 2 updates in the last week, and I think that's mainly down to Kuba J. Hopefully I'm not wrong, but they've really been pumping this stuff out, making the core superb, fixing any little issue that's out there. So well done, Kuba, and obviously thank you, Robert Pape, for doing the core initially. As well as that, the Super Nintendo, the SNES core, has received an unstable nightly update. As I say, guys, there's always an invite link to the MiSTerFPGA Discord server. You can grab compiled versions of all these cores there. Those are the ones that I report on. So good times ahead if you want to test this stuff out. Good news for the Analogue 3D. Guess what? We now have a new version or an update to the 3D OS for the Analogue 3D, and it is now on version 1.2.0. This dropped yesterday because I'm filming this on the same day to go out tomorrow. Always find that bit confusing, but yeah, guys, this is available. I did a dedicated video on the channel looking at it, but some of the fixes on here, the thing that I'm really excited about is really at the bottom down here. Controllers, added support for the Nintendo Switch Online N64 controller. I want to try this out. I'm going to try it out during the weekend. Do let me know if you want to see a live stream testing out this new firmware and testing out the Nintendo 64 online controller, you know, the one that works with the Nintendo Switch. But as well as that, there's lots and lots of improvements. You can see them on screen, a whole load of stuff here. There's one thing here where some people were having issues with certain 4K displays where the Analogue 3D just wouldn't work on there. Some people even said that they had to put it through an upscaler in order to get it to work, which kind of defied the point. You want to plug it directly in. The upscaler is for something that isn't 4K. Why would you plug a 4K screen into a 4K upscaler? Anyway, that's the kind of workaround some people were using, but it looks like that is fixed. But there's a lot of issues that have been resolved. Look at that issue with corrupted OS graphics. I haven't experienced that, but I know some people did. Sound clipping, if you experienced that, that should work. Improvements with the library, a special thanks section, better cartridge detection, just a whole heap of stuff out there. Better compatibility with the 8-bit doll controller, where it kind of tells you when it's in the wrong mode now, or if the firmware's out of date. So some really good stuff there. Nice to see Analogue supporting their product, but definitely the biggest thing to take away here is this one. New support for Switch Online Nintendo 64 controllers. So yeah, if you haven't already, update your Analogue 3D. Let me know what you think of the firmware, and I will be updating it at some point this weekend. Just depends on all the time I've got. So yeah, well done, Analogue. Do you remember a while ago we spoke about this MROM, a way to dump your cartridges using your analog pocket and then playing with those dumps. That kind of sounds wrong. And in this video that I did earlier, I dumped my copy of Super Mario Land and then I was able to play with my dump. Again, just sounds wrong. I've just got a childish mind. But guess what, guys? You can back up your games, you can back up your saves, you can back up your transfer packs. Well, no, the developer reached out to me and he said he's been working on it. And now, if I remember correctly, the compatibility should be around 75% of games. So that's really cool. I've not had a chance to actually go in and try it out yet. However, if you do want to try it out, the latest file is available up there, so you can see on the page there it's got a really nice written guide that tells you how to do everything, how to back up your save games, etc. Something I do want to check out. Maybe I'll check it out during the week. Let me know if you want to see a dedicated video. I just don't have too many cartridges. I think I might own around 10 Game Boy cartridges and they're all DMG because I love DMG. I'm not so much into Pokemon, so I don't know if I have anything with like real-time clock data, but either way, it's fantastic to see this. The Analog Pocket is a great device, and you know, developers like Node that are working on this, they are making it an awesome preservation tool. You've got your cartridges, back your stuff up, put your cartridges away, and then play the ROMs, use all your data, bring all your Pokemon over, do all that good stuff. I remember with my 3DS, when custom firmware came out, I was actually able to back up all my cartridges, which was absolutely fantastic. I mean, that was just superb. Backed up every single one of my cartridges, all my saves on the DS's digital, and then I put my cartridges in the cupboard. In fact, I haven't touched my 3DS cartridges for a while, but if you guys have got a big collection and you want to back them up using your Analog Pocket, well, guess what? Now you can. So thank you, No. Love your work, love your dedication, love all the stuff that you do. Absolutely amazing. And as I was kind of getting ready to film this video, guess what? A video dropped from a friend of the channel, and this guy is super duper talented. What's Ken making? So what did he do? He went and made himself a Game Bub. A Game Bub is an open source FPGA device that is mainly designed for playing Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance stuff. Very cool device. You were able to back this on Crowd Supply. I've backed one of those, so I'm waiting for them. I think it's gonna come out in May unless it gets delayed. But what's really cool over here is What's Ken Making has actually made his own Game Bub, and the kind of aesthetic that he's used, it reminds me of do you know, like what's the Game Boy? The Game Boy Advance SP, and then you could buy like the vertical version of them like this. It looks like it's one of those shows, and he's crammed the Game Bub in there. Definitely check out this video. I've not actually watched all of it, but I've pressed like on it straight away, and you should press like on my video. Ken, very talented. He's going through this stuff. He'll show you exactly how he made it, and I know this was a tough thing to make, but there you go. He's made his own freaking FPGA gaming using the open source design of the Game Bub. So maximum respect, love his work. Can't wait for my Game Bub. And in the meantime, after the weekend, probably on Monday when I get a bit more time, or maybe on Sunday, I'm going to go through and watch all of this video. Ken's amazing, Game Bub is amazing, and yeah, I can't wait to watch this, and I can't wait to get my own Game Bub, which is a horizontal design, which is one of the reasons I backed it. I love the Analog Pocket, but over a long period of time, this design can get a bit uncomfortable, whereas a horizontal design is definitely more comfortable. So yeah, well done, Ken. Mod Retro put out an update for the M64. Here we go, we got some M64 news, and they kind of spoke about it. They had a survey there where they asked you what game you would play first when you got your M64, and the main thing that they asked there, what color are you interested in? And based on like the comments I got in a video during the week, it seems to be that red is the most popular color. Let me know what color you like out of there. And after you guys kept saying red, you've kind of put the idea of red in my head, because the EverDrive I have is red. It's almost the same color, so maybe it'll look nice in there, or maybe I can mishmash the color, right? One of the other things that they said was that the Trident controller, I think that's what they're calling it, or the Tri controller, it's not going to be released with the M64. That's going to come a little way down the line. The M64 is still a few months away. So yeah, interesting little update. Nothing major in there, and then they kind of show off the PCB. So a lot of you guys are really interested in this. I mean, I'm really interested more in seeing what other cores become available for this, because they said they would like to leave this open so people can develop cores, or people can port cores over. You know, the Analog 3D is excellent. I do like the Analog 3D, but it only does N64 games. I certainly hope the Analog 3D gets more cores. with the M64, if it gets more calls, then I guess it may give Analogue incentive if they want to keep selling the Analogue 3D to kind of release more calls for it. But yeah, interesting here. These guys showing off their PCB, and here you go, the different colors out there and the different colors out there again. So not a major update, but still some kind of comms out with the people, getting some feedback as to what the consumer is interested in, and just letting them know that they're still a few months away. However, a few months is an ambiguous number. It could be 1 month and 1 day, or it could be like 13 months, which is 1 year and 1 month. Either way, it's still nice to see comms going out. So kind of looking forward to this, but I just want to see what else this thing does. We know the developer behind the Nintendo 64 is Robert Pape, the developer of the MiSTer course. So kind of interested to see what becomes of this. This article here from Time Extension, it proper cracked me up. So FPGA based Atari ST Mini is here. You read that, you think like, wow. Now I have nostalgia for the Atari ST. It's something that I owned for a little bit of time, but when I was younger and my uncle used to give me his hand-me-downs, he gave me his Atari 800 XL when he got the Atari ST. So whenever I went around to my nan's house, it was my mum's youngest brother, he used to let me play the Atari ST for hours. So I have fond memories of this device. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, FPGA based Atari ST Mini is here, but the initial production run is a mere 5 units. Oh man, I'm sure you'd sell more than that, but hey, hopefully the 5 sell out straight away and they make more. And this has one of those small Tang FPGAs in there, a very small one. So that's kind of interesting because that Tang, or the Tang series of FPGAs, there's not a lot of calls out for it, but there are some calls that are available, and I guess Atari ST is one of them. I know on the console side it has NES, it has Mega Drive, it has a SNES, and I think it has Master System as well. So if you are an Atari ST enthusiast that wants a FPGA Atari ST and you want the aesthetic, then maybe you can be one of the 5. I'm really interested if you are one of the 5 and you've ordered this or you're getting this, what do you guys kind of think of this? I like this stuff, and you know, if you've got an FPGA inside an Atari ST case, then yeah, that will look good. But 5 units, very interesting. I cover a lot of FPGA gaming, and usually it's the best way to play stuff. But for systems like the Nintendo 64, once we get a native PC port that's been decompiled and then recompiled into that native PC port, you cannot get a better way of playing these games. So this one over here is Banjo Recompiled. It's a recompiled version of Banjo-Kazooie, and it plays really good. I'm not into 3D platformers, but I cannot deny that this is freaking amazing. Just looks absolutely superb. So there's the GitHub for it. You can patch it very easily. Honestly, it's super easy to patch this. You literally just need your own copy of the ROM and it does everything else for you. Absolutely superb. So this is a video that I ran of it. Even though this video is 1080p, when I done this one, this was in 4K. You can actually play it in ultra widescreen. It opens up so many different options. Games that are known to have bad frame rates, well, instead of playing them in like single or early double-digit numbers, you're playing them at like 120 hertz, 240 hertz. It is just amazing. Every time there's a new decomp, I get super duper happy, man. Absolutely amazing. So if you were a fan of Banjo-Kazooie, this really is now the best way you can play it. There is no better way you can play this game. You know, I'm happy for you guys to tell me if there is. I really don't think there is. We all know that bringing over our analog devices into the digital world can be quite costly. Well, not in this case. So I called the developer behind this Flipperama, but they said it rhymes with Futurama, so it must be Flapperama. Hopefully I've got that correct. And guess what? $5 pure digital HDMI mod for the NEO-GEO, a NEO-Pico HD. So absolutely amazing. This is something that's super cheap to make, and you can actually get your NEO-GEO working via HDMI. So really cool here. It's an open source project. It runs your NEO-GEO in 480p from 240p, so just doubling that resolution. And he's saying, I've been working on an open source pure digital HDMI mod for the NEO-GEO MVS MV1C and wanted to share it with the community. NEO-Pico HD uses Raspberry Pi Pico 2 RP2350B to tap the digital video and audio signals directly from MVS board before they hit the DAX. The result is pure digital signal path from the NEO-GEO to the display. Absolutely amazing, guys. If you want to check this out, check out the links that I've provided, but this is really cool. As well as that, they are intending on bringing this mod out for the AES, the home console version of the NEO-GEO, but absolutely amazing, guys. NEO-GEO is amazing. I love playing it. I use the MiSTerFPGA core, which I think is fantastic. I combine it with the more 4K for fantastic results. But hey, if you've got original hardware kicking about, nothing beats original hardware, especially when you've got all these modern quirks on there. Absolutely amazing. This is something that just may be revolutionary. So PS2Recomp, PlayStation 2 static recompiler. It's not quite ready yet, but it's an open source project where anyone that wants to get involved and contribute this to can. So PS2Recomp essentially, well, we'll read it over here. PS2Recomp is a tool designed to statically recompile PlayStation 2 ELF binaries into C++ code that can be compiled for any modern platform. This enables running PS2 games natively on PC, other platforms without traditional emulation. So essentially what it does is it takes the PlayStation 2 language and it converts it into C++, which is easy for a computer to recognize and to work with. I mean, this will be amazing if this tool becomes a reality. It just means that any PlayStation 2 game that you've got, you can essentially just recompile it using this tool, and then you can get that PC port going. I can just imagine the floodgates opening. It sounds very interesting. It sounds super fascinating. I really do hope this becomes a reality. I hope it's not one of those projects where there's a lot of ambition and then it's just left to die. I really do hope this becomes a reality. It will be amazing. We looked at that Banjo-Kazooie native port from the Nintendo 64 coming over to the PC, and it just changes the game. And this means the PlayStation 2's got a massive library, much bigger than the Nintendo 64. It just means we'll get some amazing games working natively on the PC. I think there's been some PlayStation 2 games. I specifically remember Jak and Daxter. It wasn't a game that I liked so much. I was always more of a Ratchet and Clank guy, but it will be nice to see some more of this stuff. Really, guys, this could be something very big. That's what she said. Hey, remember that game Roguecraft? It's a game that's held in very high regard for the Amiga. I've only heard good things about it. Have I tried it? Well, no, because I don't have time to play all the games that I want. This looks very interesting. But what's even more interesting now, and this gives me more reason to actually play it, the guys behind this, Talamus Digital Publishing, have actually given me a review unit. They asked me which one I wanted, and guess which one I picked? Yes, I picked Roguecraft GB. DX, the Game Boy Color version. And that's the one that I hope to do a video on at some point in the future as soon as I get some time. And mainly because I love the work of E.G. Veroom, or better known as this guy here, Shane McCafferty, hopefully that's how you say it, and they're the ones that done the port. As well as that, we've got Sloopy Goop, who done the soundtrack for the amazing Outrun for the Game Boy Color, Hoffman, who is just amazing all the time. I've had Hoffman and Shane over on my channel for interviews. Amazing people, amazing work, but this is like a roguelike style of game. Something that I do want to try. It doesn't look like my cup of tea, but the more I've been looking at it, the more interesting it looks. Now, when it comes to the Game Boy Color version, it's going to be available in 2 days. Actually, by the time you're watching this video, it's going to be like 1 day. So I think it's February the 2nd, right? So within a couple of days, you can get this. Now, the usual price, the Amiga one, that's been around for a while, is $9.99. So I imagine this one is around $9.99 as well. But as well as that, it's also, so the DX version is also coming out for the Amiga, available in 2 days. Now, this is where I want some education. I'm pressed for time, so I didn't Google it, but what the heck's a Mega 65? I initially thought it was coming out for the Mega Drive, but is the Mega 65 some kind of Mega Drive, or is this a take on the Amiga? Not sure what it is. Please educate me in the comments, but this game looks really good. Love stuff from indie developers, and some of the people that are involved in this I have spoken to, I know, so this looks really cool. Check it out. Roguecraft, available shortly, or the DX version on the Game Boy, and it looks really good on the darn Game Boy. What kind of world are we living in now? 2026, we are playing GameCube games in our web browser. I was so blown away by this. It feels exactly like Super Monkey Ball, exactly how I remember it. So this guy here, Twilight, I ported Super Monkey Ball to a website. You can access it in the replies. Okay, let's just go straight over to the website. And again, you can pick here between Super Monkey Ball 1, 2, or Super Monkey Ball 2 MB2WS touchscreen, or you can play it with a keyboard, or you can play it with a controller. I actually tried this with a controller and it worked really really well. If not, you can WASD it, and here we are playing Super Monkey Ball via a web browser. And here you go, look, left, right, I'm moving it around. Let's just go straight in. There you go, guys, play Monkey Ball in a web browser. Absolutely fantastic. So this popped up on my timeline, Mario 64 with ray tracing and Luigi. This is the Render 96 project, which aimed to recreate the look of the original promotional material around Mario 64 and can be built with or SM64 PC Builder 2. Guys, this is really fascinating. So I know recently we got a PC port of Super Mario 64 from the same guys that recently brought us the excellent port of Mario Kart. Again, loving these PC ports, they're fantastic. But what's really good about this one is people found some concept art or some concept art was discovered for Super Mario 64. This is the vision that Nintendo had. It's just the Nintendo 64 couldn't do this. And I have to say, it looks really good. I have actually got this version, but I think without the ray tracing, because a buddy of mine said that he tried it and the ray tracing broke a lot of stuff. Maybe that's improved by now. I do want to test this out. The biggest thing is I'm not into 3D platformers, but this does look really good. And now it's got freaking ray tracing. Probably the compression that we're getting through this X video that I have made full screen, then going in via YouTube, it's probably butchering it. I'm sure it looks even more beautiful if you were to see it in real life. But absolutely fantastic. We're getting these PC ports and they just look absolutely stunning, and Mario 64 looks really good. Don't get me wrong, I like the original aesthetic, but because I never really evolved with these, I kind of prefer this one. So guys, this brings us to the end of this week's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. Be freaking awesome to one another, guys. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.